Adulting. I spend a lot of my time with high school students thinking about the work that's ahead of them, and this is a fear that comes up often. Adulting can label anything that feels all of a sudden overwhelming or impossible, like paying your bills, or going to work every day, or finding the courage to make a phone call to schedule your dentist appointment. It's easy to chalk some of these up as being a little dramatic, but honestly, I think these kinds of fears are pretty fair. We're sending 18-year-olds into a world where the average American has $6,455 of credit card debt. And about half of working adults have such a poor relationship with their manager, they wish they could quit their jobs. So, there's a gap between what we're doing to prepare teens for adulthood. And it makes me wonder, what if we could put students in a context where they could learn and practice the basics for what's ahead? What if we could launch them confident with the tools and experiences that are transferable to the kinds of challenges they'll face as they move towards independence? In December of 2013, a group of some of my favorite women, including 5 teen girls, met in a home on the east side of Waterloo, Iowa. And they were asking a lot of the same questions. The teens were 14, 15 years old and antsy for their first jobs, and the adults in the room, knowing the learning curve ahead of these teenagers, answered that desire with a question. What if we were to start our own business together? You could work, earn a paycheck, but we could also work together on some of the skills that we know you have room to grow in. Fast forward to the next year, and we were meeting in a church kitchen a few days a week, making pie together. We operated there for about 5 years and sold the pies to congregation members at holidays to pay the students for their work and buy more ingredients. Soon we outgrew that space. We were tucking pies into freezers that were bursting and had hired twice as many young women to work with us than what we started with. Now we operate year-round from a storefront in downtown Waterloo, and we sell pies across the Cedar Valley and have hired 86 young women to work and learn at this nonprofit, social enterprise, teen employment program called Try Pie Bakery. Social enterprise, a business driven by a social mission, is underrated. As the community participates as customers, the actual operation can be leveraged for impact. So, in an effort for preparing teens for what's ahead, how can social enterprise take some of the basics of work and make them transformative? Great question. I would love to talk about it. Early work experience kickstarts the learning curve for being a great employee. Entry-level responsibilities naturally develop the kinds of habits that employers are looking for, like communication, teamwork, problem-solving, customer service. As a nonprofit whose funding is a mix of sales and grants and donations, we have the flexibility to create a job where we can layer it with programming around financial literacy, job readiness, and caring for a student beyond profit in a way that a traditional job just can't. Let me tell you how that looks at Try Pie. A student is hired the summer before her sophomore year. She works in the kitchen and learns in workshops and learns a lot of what you might remember from your first job, plus how to make really incredible pie. Year 2 and 3, she takes on a leadership role and starts to own some of the key components of our operation. Teens run our marketing, enter expenses into QuickBooks, help run our summer food truck, and even help develop some recipes. Over the course of her 3 years with us, she's working multiple 3-hour shifts each week. That consistency creates connection with peers and caring adults, a reliance on one another, and a way to talk about how much we need people who are different from us. Different strengths, different skills, different experiences and perspectives. This is actually something that students catch on to pretty quickly. Youth today expect inclusion and demand authenticity, and they will call it out if it's not there. This feels important to say. If we want to create a future where our students can thrive, we have to think about creating the kinds of environments that are reflective of the diverse world they want to be a part of and the teams they want to contribute to. Otherwise, we'll lose employees, talent, buy-in, and the rich value that comes from working with a diverse team. Social enterprise lets us embed these kinds of things like leadership, responsibility, personal growth directly into employment in a way that builds a student's confidence, resume, network, and helps her discover more of who she wants to be. One of the reasons why TriPi started is a big reason why we still exist. Teens want to work, and they really want a paycheck. But earning money does not mean learning to manage it, and financial literacy in America proves that. So we need a new intervention point to redirect that default trajectory. We need education, and we need application. A way for students to practice good money habits before they get to the complex realities of adulthood, where those lessons are a lot harder and a lot more costly to learn. Do you remember what you did with your first paycheck? You get paid for the first time, and you can taste the autonomy of cash in your pocket. And then it's likely gone before you know it. This happens at TriPi too. We've seen first paychecks blown on everything from expensive jeans to in-app purchases to just generosity that leaves them with less than they need for themselves. But before you cringe too much, let me suggest that these choices might actually save the young women we work with money in the long run. Think about it. What if you could have had your worst money mistakes happen while you're still in high school, had a network of support, and been able to learn to do differently from there on out? A budgeting workshop we lead has students print off their bank statements, categorize each purchase, and reflect on where their money actually went. Every time, students are shocked that they spent that much in a category they swore 10 minutes before was maybe a $15 expense. While the money they earn is their own, the workshops and mentorship that we offer alongside those dollars helps the student grow confident in managing her money and learns to live in the truth of her finances. Given time, she achieves goals that open opportunities beyond what money can buy for herself, for her family, for her community. So yes, this time has been spent pitching that a first job can help us help teens learn to adult. Within a social enterprise structure, we can use that experience to the fullest. We hear often from alumni who come back and say things like, I don't know that I would have ever been friends with her if it weren't for TriPi, and she's taught me so much. Or, I was so shy when I first started here. I never thought I could lead like I can now. It's incredible to think of the young women who are leaving for college, understanding the loans that they're agreeing to, or have real money invested for retirement. At 18, a first job is a chance to care for, encourage, and challenge a young person, and adulting becomes a little less scary. So I'm inviting you to think creatively about how to care for this next generation and get behind social enterprise. Join the network of wholesalers, suppliers, customers, donors, volunteers, or maybe you're compelled to start a mission-driven business of your own. You know I believe in the model, and the needs you could meet are many. I would offer 2 words as you dream: relationships and listening. TriPi didn't start with this scale in mind. It was really just trying to get to know a small group of students and be responsive to the actual needs that they were expressing a need for support in. I wish there were time to talk about some other fun and important pieces of social enterprise, like how to structure your business or choose a product or engage a population, but these 2 pieces, relationship and listening, feel important regardless of what industry you land in or product you choose. When we're connected and listening to the people who are most impacted by the decisions we make as a leader, the decisions we make as an organization, We stay relevant, impactful, responsive, humble, and clear on the work that's ours to do. I want to end by thanking the people who have been along for the ride of building TriPi to what it is, especially my co-director, Megan Tenson, and especially the 86 young women who have worked and learned along with us. The real gift of social entrepreneurship is getting to be in close proximity to the real lives and hope and dreams embodied in people. And getting to see that something as simple as pie, as simple as a first job, can help us move towards what we were made for. Thanks.